Welcome to the Halloween tour for Mario Kart. Thank you so much for joining me. In today's video, I'll be breaking down all the news in this latest content. Will it be a trick or a treat? Well, I have a lot of treats in store in the way of analysis and strategy. If that sounds good with all of you, please show your support with the channel by leaving a like on this video and subscribing. Thank you so much. Your support is enormous, and I'm so grateful for that. All right. So we have an update to the app now. I did that before loading the game here. Multiplayer should be working now, and battles will be in full effect, and I'm sure it's a lot of fun. Hopefully the multiplayer pipes are treating you all well. For a list of the possible items that you can get from the multiplayer pipes, feel free to join our community Discord. A link will be in the description below, or one of the other various community Discord servers in the resources section in data mining. You can find that information to see just what you could have access to in those pipes. And we see DK Jr. on the thumbnail there. That's always a very welcoming sign to see. We have to start a new tour here. Autumn Challenges 2. And I suppose this will be another 48 rubies. Is it? Oh no, we have to Captain Toad. That's right, that was on the roadmap. All right. And then Tour Challenges 1. These are all very standard. Daily selects, so they are incentivizing daily selects purchases still. Hopefully your shops have been looking marvelous. And then Tour Challenges 2 will be accessible in 6 days from now, which is the second week of this tour. Tour multiplayer challenges are here, and look at that. We have 5 rubies for these standard actions and completion of races. And the total points challenge is identical to the last tour. So you're gonna need 1 million total points, but given that there are 15 cups and the course composition, at least in the last tour, was very fair. We had a lot of year 1 courses. The loadouts were very friendly. If they continue with that, I think this could be fair, but that's dependent, of course, on the course offerings after each tour. Okay, let's just get a quick look at what the premium challenges are. Did they do away with the premium challenges plus? No, they just put it in the reverse order. That's interesting. I guess because they realized that the autumn challenges comes up first, they decided to put it in order of escalating prices. And look at that, you get a full set of high-end tickets if you're willing to go that far. All right, I think we have ranked results to take care of first. So let's see, Lakitu in the Halloween costume, right? Certainly would be a nice alt to race around in. We have Lakitu party time, of course. Just pulled that in the all clear pipe from the last tour. So look at that, we're back into tier 52 and the green speeder here, Slipstream Plus. Oh, and Red Toad Pit Crew as well, very nice. 25 rubies though. This is where some of the disappointment came in, that they readjusted the ranked rewards, but I think we'll have to see how the multiplayer pipes goes and what kind of ruby count that will, portray onto our accounts. Perhaps the adjustment isn't the worst thing in the world. And there are some benefits too to having fewer ranked rubies, although that's depending upon the lens with which you're looking through it, of course. Oh, and there's a gold pipe. I forgot that they added this thing in. So right away, we're gonna get a random standard high end here. Let's see what it's gonna be. Okay, the pink wing, nothing special there. And more year 1 coverage. All right, so let's go into this tour officially now and see. Notice regarding known issues, we'll start here. When playing multiplayer mode, players' grades may decrease. We are currently preparing an update to fix the above issue. And as of Wednesday, this message is to inform you that multiplayer maintenance has been completed. Well done, Mario Kart Tour team. So all should be well, and let me know in the comments if your grade, if you were one of the players affected by that, has been adjusted. So issues fixed. When playing multiplayer, the grades decreased. Players whose grades had gone down will find that their grades will return to how they were before the issue occurred. Very, very good. Future action. So after Wednesday at 5 a.m., I imagine that's local time, so it's could be a different readout on your screen. You'll be required to update to version 3.0.1. So it's already after that point in time, since I was forced to update before starting this recording. Afterward, we will complete multiplayer maintenance, and then multiplayer for races and battles will be available once again. Fantastic, and look at this. 100 rubies to all players, and then an additional 20 rubies to players subscribed to Gold Pass during the Battle Tour. All right, very good. So we'll check the gift box. But first of all, we're going to start here, a limited time event. The FOMO is on, and that is for that Captain Toad, which we already saw. And we can get a total of 48 rubies, but that's for Autumn Challenges 1. So if you played through the entire Battle Tour, well, those 48 rubies are already on your account, and use them wisely. I'll be going over the optimal list for the Spotlight shop. We're going to go through the coverage optimizer tool right here. It's going to be a lot of fun. I have a lot of insight to share with all of you with that. So that will be momentarily. Better rewards with the token shop. So, ooh, look at that little pumpkin balloon. That's kind of cute, I suppose. And then collect event tokens and whatnot. Very, very good. All right, here we go. Halloween tour starts now. Mario Halloween and Silver Candlelight Flight Glider are in the spotlight, so that's a returning driver and a brand new glider are in play. GBA Boo Lake course, which we've already seen in the preview, looks very nice. So they'll be in the spotlight for the first week, at which point we'll have Peach Halloween taking over the spotlight in the second week. The items in the spotlight will change with the second half of the tour. Also, many drivers, karts, and gliders with favorite courses in one of or both of the ranked eligible cups will appear in the daily spotlight, which changes each day, and you can use a quick ticket on that. So, the King Boo Me Racing Suit, apropos, is available in the Me Racing Suit shop. And that Me Racing Suit bonus is still in effect as long as the shop is open. And we have news here about Gold Pd Piranha. Oh yes, you may have thought I forgot about that. I did not. We're going to see what the skill is on that, what the course value looks like, and just how many places you need to finish in order to obtain this on your account. What will the ranked mode look like as a result of that? But we also have this red vampire flyer in addition to a golden pipe. So I would imagine then that the rubies are still going to be reduced. And here they're already notifying us that the Yoshi Cup will be ranked mode for week 2. Okay, so here we go. The Streetle, they got the name right. Let's give a little golf clap there for intern 4. Well done. You couldn't mess up 2 carts in a row, right? Anyway, $3.99 US. The prices are subject to your local currency there. Starting value on that. Does this start with a premium? No, it does not. Starting value is 9 courses. Jump Boost Plus is a good skill to pair on a cart, particularly one with this many trick variants, right? Certainly, but the course value there is a mixture of old and new. Maple Treeway is early year 2 value. We see Donut Plains 3T. So they're adding in a lot of new retros. They're just burning through all of these retro courses, right? Throwing the kitchen sink at us. So that's now gonna be 10 new retro courses brought in this tour, right? Because we have the Twilight House, the 4 Bootleg variants, then there would be 4 Donut Plains 3 variants, along with the Ghost Valley 2 RT, which is anticipated to be in this one as well. So we are chock full of new courses here, and that's going to shake up the meta in terms of course coverage overall. And we can't wait to dive into that, right? So here we go. We're just gonna view these things in the shop. Give a quick look at the Dry Bones Me Racing Suit here, since this one's close to the Turtle Faithful here. We have Top Shelf 6 and Middle Shelf 4, so this one's starting off kind of paltry on the value, but it's always themed thematically, so you know, it's going to end up in that like low teens kind of course coverage to middle teens, about 15 courses, right? Give or take on that, plus or minus a few. Okay, and event tokens will be by making your opponents crash. All right, let's go right into the shop, right? That's what everybody wants to see. And let's see, did Mario Halloween pick up any buffs? He did. He picked up 3 buffs. Twilight House, which is the battle course. We see it's not unranked in week 1. So maybe they're moving on from the battle courses from ranked sooner than expected. But it does have the Boo Lake and the Donut Plains 3, which is set to feature in ranked mode. And then we have this Silver Candlelight Flight, and it has the Lightning Plus just for East Side, right? That's going to chew up 100 of his rubies very quickly, I am sure. Starting value is 9 courses here, and it's featuring a lot of these newer courses. So if you're looking for a glider that pairs with some of the value that's been brought in over the last year, this one could be a little champion for you on that, because what's interesting to note about this is it does have the Boo Lake, the Ghost Valley 2RT, which is brand new as well, with the Twilight House, and then it has a selection of some very old courses as well, such as that Rainbow Road and the Luigi's Mansion R. So you have to individually check out your course composition, right? Because this is going to vary from account to account. And I'm not somebody that just says, okay, everybody must invest into this. No, it's very specific, okay? I'm a fan of the nuanced, every little minutia of detail that we can pass along. And I love how the experience, it's the one huge joy about Mario Kart Tour and all of this data generation that we do is that it is so highly customizable to your unique experience. And that's the thrill of going through this, and how what you're looking at is different than what I'm looking at. But through this line of dialogue that we share and the strategies that are in play, you can adapt things that I'm talking about here, even if it doesn't directly apply to your situation, and find use and value for that in excelling your game in the way that you choose to play. That's what it's all about here. So the daily spotlights have been updated, but there is some carryover from the first time, and that's based on what is available in ranked. In addition to that, the gold items are still largely being featured, but I do have to make mention that this time Gold Charge and Chuck will be available in the daily spotlight, whereas it was not in the past. Do keep in mind that those gold items are at astronomically low probabilities to appear, except for this gold pumpkin cart, which does have a boosted chance due to its Halloween theme. But as far as the other gold items are concerned, those are going to be a part of the smallest percentage of that probability table that you can have. All right. So here we go. We see that Dr. Peach is in my daily spotlight, and she is one of those optimal players. So what I want to do now is swing it over to the coverage optimizer tool. I will present you with the optimal list, which is the most efficient source of inventory that you could invest into that will provide you with the maximum amount of course coverage in Mario Kart Tour at this given moment. So let's go over there and see how things are shaking out there. Now, I do want to preface this by saying that these lists are not something that you should be chasing at every given moment. This is just a snapshot in time, and you kind of have to read the tea leaves and project forward where things are going and how things were. Put that information together with where your account is already at. As always, we're here to help you out, so write a comment down below. Join the Discord server, get involved, and we can provide you with the maximum amount of context so that you can make the best use of this tool imaginable. All right, let's start off with the drivers. That's the one that pulls the heartstrings. And we'll start off with just a combination size of 1. So who does have the best course coverage overall in Mario Kart Tour? It's the queen, and I do imagine she's still going to be here. Peach Explorer with 30 courses overall at level 6. I'm going to be doing these scans and reports for level 6 exclusively. Join the Discord server if you want to see the level 8 reports, in addition to larger combination size reports, which I can run on the desktop app. But we're going to be doing combination size 1 through 7 for drivers, karts, and gliders at level 6, starting with our queen here, Peach Explorer. But there's bound to be some real big shakeups here as we bring it to the optimal duo of drivers. What goes on then, right? We'll run this report, and it's going to be Peach Explorer once again with Penguin Mario. This is the classic combination that's been around for eons. But we see here Meowser and Tanuki Rosalina show up as an equal duo, this is monumental, not just because that's a plus skill driver, but because there hasn't been another duo that has matched the likes of Peach Explorer and Penguin Mario. And the reason for this is because Meowser has gotten buffed, but also Tanuki Rosalina has. So if we go back and we can see just where Tanuki Rosalina stands with regards to Peach Explorer, and what we would do here is set the combination size to 0, because what I'm going to do now is enforce Tanuki Rosalina just to see how many tracks she has at level 6. So we'll scroll down to the T's, and there she is. We'll run a search on this one. We can see that she is just 1 track shy of Peach Explorer. Could we be seeing a passing of the torch at some point? It could happen. Remember that value alert that we put out like before her pipe even existed 1 year ago? That was exactly a year ago today. Fantastic. And she has come such a long way. Has great complementary coverage to that of the plus special skills, as exemplified through that combination with Meowser up there. So we'll refresh the screen, and that will clear our previous inquiries there. And now we'll go to combination size 3 for drivers at level 6, the default setting here. So the first combination that it's recommending is Daisy Swimwear, Meowser, and Tanuki Rosalina. Daisy Swimwear has been a part of the optimal combinations, and her value has been increasing even more than it was given a few tours into her value last year. The alternative in equal combination is the classic DK Jr., Peach Explorer, and Penguin Mario. And while these two sets of 3 drivers each present the same kind of course coverage, you can see overall that's 76 of the 237 retro courses in Mario Kart Tour. Those are your Donut Plains and your Ghost Valleys, your Boo Lakes, your Bowser's Castles, Mario Circuits. They don't include any of the Nitro courses, so any of those city exclusive courses that are locked behind events, as well as the brand new courses that have come to Mario Kart Tour, such as Sky High Sundae, Ninja Hideaway, and Merry Mountain. But if we click on detailed coverage here, it will give you a readout, and this is in alphabetical order. I want to clarify that. It's not that Daisy Swimwear has more tracks than Meowser and Tanuki Rosalina. No, it's because D comes before M in the alphabet and M comes before T, right? This is really simple stuff, folks. No need to overcomplicate the plot here. But we can see here that there's overlap on SNES Choco Island 1 RT between Daisy Swimwear and Tanuki Rosalina. Anytime that you see multiple of a number appear, that will indicate the overlap. And otherwise, it's all unique coverage when it's just a single number. And if we click on this, you can go through these courses as well, but notice that there would be some that are unique to those in the other listing. And I'm not going to provide an exhaustive list. That's information that you can find at your own leisure. Now let's move on to combination sizes of 4 and larger. We have 2 competing branches. What happens when the combination size increases, right? Some fun stuff happens here. So DK Jr. SNES continues with Peach Explorer and Penguin Mario, and we're including Fire Rosalina into the mix. She's picked up a few buffs in recent tours and has appeared now in these optimal combinations. But we can also see Dr. Peach, who is in my daily spotlight shop. So that is one of the value alerts that's out there in the daily spotlights, since she is available. That's one that's going to provide robust course coverage overall, taking into account the entire web of coverage that exists out there for all of these drivers. But just because it's optimal in the general broader sense doesn't mean it specifically is for your account. And that's where you want to input your own inventory into this equation in order to determine its usefulness for you there. So we can see here that Dr. Peach has an equal representation with DK Jr., SNES, Peach Explorer, and Penguin Mario here, replacing the Fire Rosalina. So these are equally alternative combinations. And then what's interesting to note is Dr. Peach is effective in both the Peach Explorer and the Tanuki Rosa pathways for course coverage. So she's very powerful no matter which way you're going. And if you do have a blank slate and you're looking to find maximum bang for your buck in terms of investing into this, well, you would really want to take note and say Dr. Peach fulfills this pathway for different branches, whereas Fire Rosalina does not. And we will see as we continue on in the list by going back and increasing that combination size, that plays out true. And that's how you can discern the value and equity of these things for your account relative to one another. But we do see that there's a convergence here where it is both Dr. Peach and Fire Rosa, along with that classic trio. But this is what I'm really excited about here. This is so good. It's just so hard to imagine this ever happening, right? Before this tour with Boo Lake, but at a combination size of 5, we have King Boo, Luigi's Mansion, as an optimal driver. The kind of buffs that this guy picked up is truly remarkable. Let's go check that out right now. So he's number 3. If we scroll down, these are the listings for King Boo, Luigi's Mansion here. DS Twilight House, so picked up the battle course. It is not in ranked, but 3 GBA Boo Lakes, and these are new courses. Truly remarkable that a year 1 driver has now picked up this huge influx of value, and it's suddenly been vaulted into this limelight. Now the thing is King Boo Luigi's Mansion going to have staying power on this list? I would say it's not as likely as a character like Dr. Peach, who has been climbing steadily. I've been charting that progress in the Discord listing of these optimal pairings, and her staying power is a lot more secure than King Boo Luigi's Mansion, but just the fact that he has reached the stratosphere in terms of coverage after having the kind of start. I mean, talk about the ultimate rags to riches. We've talked about DK Jr. being that. King Boo Luigi's Mansion had to wait 2 years, 2.5 years to pick up this kind of value. It's really remarkable to see, and I'm very happy about that. All right, let's see. Combination size 6 now. This is the point now where Fire Rosalina is replacing. There's just a single optimal list here, 133 of the 237 overall tracks. King Boo Luigi's Mansion is conserved now, and Dr. Peach holds down that spot. And if we go ahead to a full combination size of 7 and larger, what I was curious about is, would Pd Piranha make the leap to combination size 7, since he has been in optimal combinations starting with 9 and 10, and then in the last tour moved up to optimal combinations for size 8 and larger. But he did not move up this time around. For combination size 7, we see that it has 2 branches now. One that has the King Boo Luigi's Mansion, and the other one it's removed for Peach Halloween and Shy Guy Ninja. We see Meowser make the return in the King Boo Luigi's Mansion. So if you're somebody that's invested into plus skills, then King Boo Luigi's Mansion does appear to present a little bit of value, but it depends how many of the plus skills that you are invested into. And as always, you want to cross-reference this with your own inventory. So if we go back here, you can go to inventory options and upload a CSV file, which, if you don't know what that is, click on the help and FAQ, and that provides all the information that you need for that. And a new feature that's just come to the Coverage Optimizer tool is filtering by driver skill. So you can do the same outputs for just Coinbox or just Boomerang or any combination of these, right? You can check them all off and then see what provides you with the most efficient coverage there. And then cross-reference that to the general drivers list, and you can see just how much course coverage you'd be losing by just isolating the cream of the crop in terms of scoring potential. All right, and now let's move on to the carts and see what is going on here. So with a single cart, what is the top option? I would imagine it's still the yellow off-roader, but it depends what they did with the Silver King this time around, right? Since it was nipping at the heels of the yellow off-roader, but we can see it's the Lone Wolf still, still number 1, and that means the Silver King did not pick up any buffs in this tour. So let's set the combination size to 2 then and see what happens here. we have the gold pumpkin cart and the yellow off-roader. And this is a really fascinating one because the gold pumpkin cart is available in the daily spotlights. It has that boosted percentage, right, relative to that of the other gold items. So if you do want to get in on a cart of that kind, this is your opportunity to do so now. And what's very interesting is it has absolutely no overlap with the yellow off-roader. Look at this, folks. Not a single course of overlap. That is full realization of value with this combination. Now, within the meta of carts, hitbox size is often spoken about. I have a very nuanced take when it comes to hitbox because this game requires nuanced takes, right? It's not just like you need a big hitbox on every cart. You only need a big hitbox when you're playing with coin box. Otherwise, what is the relative application of that? Picking up an additional coin or two from a coin ring or from a jump boost. If you're going over jump boost, you can mini turbo and still get multiple coins in those situations. And then if you're pairing it with other skills such as giant banana, well, less likely to run into your own banana then, which is another banana in action that you can get by an opponent bot hitting on that, right? So sometimes you do want a smaller hitbox cart. It can't just be, always has to be a big hitbox cart. Certainly there's a quality of life thing, and if that's your choice, if that's what's enjoyable for you, then that's the correct way to play, right? But in regard to maximum course coverage, this smaller hitbox cart pairs very favorably with the very large size of the yellow off-roader. And I kind of wanted to juxtapose that. It's very nice to do this breakdown of course coverage overall. Having done the drivers first, you can see where the coin boxers land in regard to the overall coverage web that's out there, and that only Meowser appears on optimal lists and only at a few combination sizes, no less. This highlights an existential question within Mario Kart Tour in that scoring potential versus course coverage, right? There's something of an inverse relationship, although it is not a direct correlation between that relationship between scoring and coverage. But we do see that the coin box drivers are largely absent from the optimal combinations outside of Meowser, and Kamek has been there in the past, and we have seen gold dry bones there, here and there at times. But by and large, those are missing, and even greater scoring potential than the coin box drivers are the Mii racing suits, and not a single Mii racing suit has ever appeared in an optimal combination. If you want to gain access to that premium level of scoring on the entirety of Mario Kart Tour's course offering, it's going to require that in terms of your investment, right? So what I always state here on the channel is to know what you're getting involved in, and then you can make your best approach possible, right? If you're someone that is trying to get by on a budget, then you can't emulate the same things that players who have an unlimited budget, may be operating with in their own game and expecting the same results. You can adapt it and customize it in a way that's unique and able to accomplish your goals more effectively for the platform that you're playing at. And that's why Mario Kart Tour is really a sandbox game. It's completely unique in how we all approach it. All right, so many good discussion points to go through on this. Let's go up to combination size 3 and see what happens here. We are going to conserve the gold pumpkin cart and the yellow off-roader. Throw into the mix the armored rider, very powerful cart from this year. And now, as we expand that up to 4 carts, the cart metagame is relatively consistent. These items have held strong for such a long time, with the exception of the jukebox buggy, which was all roads led through that in terms of optimal coverage. And this is a good point I want to emphasize, and this is a good spot to do that here as we see the Rambi runner come into the mix, because for the longest time the Rambi runner and the jukebox buggy were the optimal duo and trio and quartet and so on. And now we see the jukebox buggy has been removed, and that's been as a result of the armored rider's astronomical rise in its course coverage overall and the additional buffs that the yellow off-roader had received. So this is what happens if you invest into an item that is no longer optimal. I just want to show you what that happens and the downstream effects of that, and why this is all unique and why you don't need exactly the 90 out of 237 courses for 4 carts overall. And what we would do to compare what this optimal combination looks like with regards to the jukebox buggy then let's go back, and what we will do is we will enforce the jukebox buggy within this selection here. So we're going to go down to J in the selection. There it is. And now we will minimize that window. And since we are enforcing the jukebox buggy, we will reduce the combination size because it says not including the enforcements, and this will provide us with the optimal 4 combination for 3 carts plus the jukebox buggy. And we can see it's at 88 out of 237. That's 2 tracks removed from that of the combination with the armored rider and the gold pumpkin cart. And we can see here that the Ramby Runner and the yellow off-roader is conserved in this, and we see the B-Dasher MK2 also appears, and that will likely reappear as we now reset the app. So I'm going to refresh it to remove that enforcement, and we'll move on to a combination size of 5 at level 6. So we can see what happens now if you did invest into the jukebox buggy. You're just 2 courses removed from the optimal, and the B-Dasher MK2, which was optimal along with the Ramby Runner, the yellow off-roader with that jukebox buggy, is in play here for the general optimal combination with the armored rider and that gold pumpkin cart. So it's all interchangeable parts, and all it does is it takes a single or just a couple of buffs for equal and superior combinations to make way. And what's really essential, that doesn't invalidate the investments and counterfeit them that you've already made. You still have that value on your account, and that just means that you pivot forward now with what's best for your own selection, not necessarily these. The value in showing these means that if you are invested into anything in particular, or if you want the maximum course coverage overall, and you have all these items, this is the way to do that at this given time. But there's additional things that I'll talk about as we look at the gliders that you need to consider in terms of projecting forward the value on some of these items. But we're still looking at carts, and now it's combination size of 6. For this output, we see that the prop cart enters into the fray, and that is in the daily spotlight. So this is another item that you could look forward to if you are invested into these other items. It's going to provide enormous amount of course coverage overall for your account, and that is one, like we were just talking before about hitbox size with the gold pumpkin cart, might not be ideal for certain players, certain strategies. Well, the prop cart does have that larger size hitbox, so it's going to present course coverage overall, in addition to that nice hitbox size overall. We can see here an interesting one is that the Ramby Runner is removed when the black dozer is a part of the optimal combinations, and that's because the Ramby Runner and the black dozer present an enormous amount of overlap between those 2 items, and therefore when the one is being recommended, the other will not, just by default. And we can see that is the case as we scroll down, that it is the Ramby Runner then that's favored. We can see some other items here. The gold cheap charger, don't sleep on all of the gold carts. That one has been appearing in these optimal lists for several months now, and that's because the composition of courses that it has is more of those year 1 courses, which are not being replaced in terms of new items receiving that course value and then usurping it in its grand total overall. It's been a pretty good mainstay here, not quite as powerful as the Ramby Runner, but you know, if you're debating between 2 items, this is similar to the Dr. Peach versus Fire Rosalina scenario. We can see the power of the Ramby Runner is a lot more significant than that of the Black Dozer overall in both smaller and larger combination sizes. And going back to the maximum that the web app will allow for, combination size of 7 for carts, we can see how this all comes together. What's really interesting about the carts is when I go over to the desktop app and can do even larger combination sizes, particularly between 8 and 10, the changes that occur for carts is really enormous, and it's really reflective of the seasonal flavor that the game presents, such as like during the Sunday tour, the jingle bells and all of those holiday winter themed carts were really hot. And then when the Bowser Tour came around, it became like, you know, more of those capsule cards, right, from the Doctor Tour. And it rotates what gets the chief representation there. But I'd say combination size 7 and smaller has been relatively consistent. These have been appearing pretty much all year long, at least once these items receive their fully realized value, as is the case for the Armored Rider. But we can see that the B-Dasher MK2, Gold Cheap Charger, those are all conserved. Once again, the Black Dozer and the Rambi provide a split pathway forward. But you know, you're going to have a lot more optimal coverage overall with that Rambi runner. Now, let's go over to the gliders, because this one is fascinating. Starting off with the single best glider in the game, it is the 8-bit Fireflower, and I was saying for the last several tours, this glider was chopped liver because it has the 29 courses overall of retro value. And what was happening is when we were going to those larger combination sizes, it was being totally removed until like combination size 7 and larger, where it would reappear because the other 8-bit gliders collectively, complementary, provided better course coverage than this glider with the other 8-bit gliders, and that's due to the overlap that it had. And basically you had to expand the coverage size large enough for its unique courses to reign true for optimal coverage overall. But as we increased the combination size to 2, something happened, and it wasn't a buff to the 8-bit Fireflower, but a buff to another very powerful glider here, the Wonderful Wings. If we take a look at the coverage details here and scroll down, we can see that it has 3 overlapping tracks there, but it picked up Boo Lake and Boo Lake T, and those 2 buffs to the Wonderful Wings have allowed the 8-bit Fireflower, since that was the #1 course coverage glider overall, to actually shine in these smaller combination sizes now. So this is an enormously powerful combination, and the 8-bit Fireflower is available in your daily spotlight. So that is a very powerful one to invest into, particularly now that a lot of these hot seasonal gliders that I've been hyping up but have not come to their own in terms of full realization of their course value, well, the Wonderful Wings is just about there, and we can see the end result of that optimal duo there. Quite extraordinary. And you know what it does is it takes analyzing this data and also, you know, projecting forward and imagining how these pieces come together. And I really like to describe it as a web of course coverage overall, because the interactions that take place between these items, we see that the 8-bit Fireflower didn't receive any buffs, and suddenly its value within the entire ecosystem is improved by favoritism shown to another item, and it just happens to be one that complements it very well. And even more interesting, let's go to our trio of gliders here and see what happens. There's a split pathway. Would you look at that? So it's the previous optimal trio, the 8-bit Bold Bill, the 8-bit Super Mushroom, and the Golden Wings. These were very powerful for the last several months, the optimal trio. But that's now equal to the 8-bit Fireflower, Dry Bowser Umbrella, and the Wonderful Wings. And what I find fascinating about this, and try to provide the context to you for this, remember several months ago, I was talking about the Starry Great Sail being optimal with the Dragon Wings, right? And the Dry Bowser Umbrella is like the 2nd generation of the Dragon Wings, being that Dry Bowser themed glider that has Green Shell Plus, had a very similar debut, very similar value progression of when the tracks were added and the favoritism that it picked up there. And what's fascinating about that is that now the Wonderful Wings pairs better with that of the Year 2 Dry Bowser Umbrella, whereas the Year 3 Starry Great Sail was pairing better with the Year 1 Dragon Wings. So you can begin to see how the progression of time influences the effect of these gliders and the kind of outputs that you can receive for the maximum amount of course coverage with a limited selection of inventory that you may be wanting to see. Going back to larger combination sizes now, we will see that the glider metagame will have a few new options that haven't been shown in these lists as of late, because the wonderful wings, now supporting the #1 glider in the Fire Flower, also supportive of the Candlelight Flight, which has been largely absent from optimal lists because of the monopoly that those 8-bit gliders was having, is now somewhat replaced here, although we can see the 8-bit gliders in the alternative pathway there, along with the Golden Wings and the Galaxy Glider. The favorite option, along with the Candlelight Flight, would then be the Bright Balloons, which is something of a holiday exclusive glider. So we will see when that will become available through the daily spotlights. It might not be until 2023, as far off as that seems. And then there's additional combinations that we can see here, featuring the previous superior 8-bit bolt combination. So if you're invested into those, still enormously powerful, with the ship's wheel as well. And we can see this one is a very interesting one because we have the 8-bit Fire Flower, which pairs well with the 8-bit Super Mushroom Glider. So the 8-bit bolt bill is sort of being replaced here, and that's due to the wonderful wings and the effect that those buffs presented. And now increasing it up to combination size of 5. We'll see how the progression of this keeps going, right? A few interesting selections here. We see the Glittering Parasol, which was in a special pipe earlier in this year, as well as the Super Mario Kart Glider, which was commemorative from year 1, which has been appearing in larger combination sizes of gliders, but it's quite exclusive. It's not one that's a must invest if you have access to it on your account, because as we can see here, there are a number of other combinations with some still unique options like that Chocolate Banana Crepe, along with the Record Setter, which was in this special pipe earlier in this year. The Tanuki Parafoil, when you look at that, that's with the Glittering Parasol. So pretty wide divergence of what is available here. Even the Rose Parasol, which has been very powerful for Antenion on his free-to-play account. And now going up to combination size of 6. Congratulations, Antenion, by the way. Tier 77, remarkable achievement. Free-to-play achievements out there have been so remarkable as of late. And we can see now that there is a coming together of these different options with just a single combination here. We have the Tanuki Parafoil with the Glittering Parasol and the Super Mario Kart Glider with the big 3 there. And to finish things off, combination size 7 and larger. Let's go. We add the Glinting Glider into the mix, and the rest of the combination is conserved. And that's it for all the combinations. I hope this was very informative for all of you out there. If it is, please show your support. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Let me know this is the kind of content that you want to see. I can go into even more depths of detail with this, but I am trying to keep this approachable. It's a very simple and easy to use tool, and hopefully by my showcasing it here allows you and invites you into trying it out for yourself, because the kind of information is so important and valuable for you as we go back to Mario Kart Tour, and we can see that there's an update available. So I've already missed playing for the first day. From that extraordinarily deep analysis, going through all that information was certainly much more valuable to all of you than an extra token shop pipe will do for my account. Is that right? All right, but I won't digress any further on that. Let's look at the Ranked Cup. We have Boo Lake. What do the loadouts look like? Pd Piranha and the King Boomy Racing Suit. And I've gone through this kind of situation before with you folks many times. I favor the Lucky 7 in this situation. Being a level 1 driver, Lucky 7 within the probability table is favored when you're in 7th place, for example. And the frenzy rate is greater in 7th place than it would be for fishing for Boomerang. So certainly, it's definitely more favorable to go that route. But you do have access to the King Mario up there from the non-spotlight pipe. Oh, I hope you folks managed to pull that one if you went in for it. But otherwise, there's the White Tanuki Mario and King Boo Luigi's Mansion there for other options. So we'd be going in with that King Boo. Then we have this Trickster cart, which is a year 1 value, but it's picking up a buff. And a number of other recent items that we can see, some of which are in the daily spotlight selection here. And then nothing that's really noteworthy. This cart is fairly new, the Cact B, and the previous CAC'd carts have amassed a decent amount of value. Overall, I wouldn't say that they are optimal players. They haven't, at least in previous runnings of the list, but they are very powerful in terms of ranked representation during their seasonal value. So that's one that if you're looking to invest into any of these, probably that one is going to have more favoritism to it than some of these other ones that are there. And then the Wonderful Wings picked up that buff there. And what's interesting to note actually is if you are looking at this Silver Candlelight Flight, what kind of value could that present? Well, the fact that it just ran into the Wonderful Wings on this course, that's a rough start. And then the King Boo, Boo Mass managed to pick up quite a lot of courses this tour as well. So that's really cool to see that they themed all of the Boo stuff out. I really do feel that from the character fan perspective, even though Boo's not my thing, right? So let's just go into a race right now actually with this. Let's see what Boo Lake is all about. Gotta have some fun after going through that much data, right? It's not all about numbers and calculations. It boils down into, how can you have the most fun doing this? So I've never raced this track. Wow, that's really cool with you kind of go underwater, but not really there. And then split pathway here, pretty neat. Managed to get dragged into that bob-omb there. Not too friendly, Mario Kart Tour. Oh my goodness. Pick up the red shell there. Nice little snipe action, but we got hit by the trail, which happens very frequently when you side hit somebody with a shell. Oh, this is neat. Yeah, it really does feel unique. It's kind of like a combination of Luigi's Mansion and Ghost Valley, and I really got to say I approve of that. Because I feel like Ghost Valley is kind of simple. Granted, I mean, it has nostalgia for that generation of player that's out there, but this one's really cool. I love what they've done with the GBA tracks. It's been phenomenal, all of them. And this one is right up there. I'd say this is probably right around as fun as it is Cheap Cheap Island was, which certainly ranks up there on my list of courses. And look at that, that is really not friendly. Ay, 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 ay. 4th place. Mario Kart Tour be playing tricks on us here, I tell ya. Alrighty. So now let's go and we see Maple Treeway RT is in play. Let's see how the ranked group looks. We have a 64K throttle. Oh, we haven't even talked about Gold PD yet. This is our chance to find out what's Gold PD. Of course it's Coinbox. Did any of you have any doubts about that? Come on now, that is a pretty dang cool looking thumbnail image though for his character. The moves will be flying this tour, that's for sure. Starting value is 8 courses, so that's 1 lower than average. And given that we see top 3 placement actually for Pd Piranha Gold, and then top 5 for the red Vampire Flyer Kart here, and this one starts off with 9 courses overall. It does have that battle course in Twilight House, but it'll be interesting to see. From one regard, there is a throttle here of some kind. It will take going through the data on all those opponents to see just what they're doing here for this week in ranked mode. Will the whole top 3 be difficult in order to force investments for that? That depends on these players groups, because I do want to make clear to players out there, particularly new players, that no one of these opponents has you in their ranked group. It's all unique. None of these players have any idea who I am, what my scores are, unless they're watching this video, in which case let me know in the comments, but that's not likely, particularly at this level of competition here. So that's all worth your consideration, of course, and then deciding which week do you want to compete in, and if these loadouts aren't very good for you. Like for example, I'm going to go to Maple Treeway RT here. We can see I have DK Jr., so I'm very well taken care of this week. This course alone I can score 43, 45K in We see I have the Dream Glider there. Interesting to see that the Carrot Cart is available, and that's in the daily selects as well. Prop Cart is optimal there, and interesting because the Jukebox Buggy, this was one of the reasons why I was keeping an eye on the Jukebox Buggy, was with the Kong overlap there, but interesting to see how that plays out. And this is actually an overlapped course between the Prop Cart and the Gold Pumpkin Cart there. There's so many options, and very good options, that are available at that. That was just a misclick. But the most powerful piece of inventory I have at this given moment is that Chemex Zoom Room there. And then we have the Dream Glider. So quite a powerful loadout. Let's give a run through on this one. I really love the Maple Treeway RT variant here. Ooh, is that Gold PD? I think that's Gold PD right there. Maybe they will provide us with a treat in a coin box shower for us. Oh, Coin Frenzy on the first go. We might have a little run cooking here. I got the mini turbo in, snuck it in right there by the fence to keep the combo going. But with all the badge bots, I'm definitely not going to be taking that path. Oh my goodness. Well, we can see the Ultra Mini Turbo helped me to keep the combo. Maybe we can get a triple Banana Frenzy. No, but double Mushroom should be good for getting back into good placement here. But this is definitely the effect of wanting to remove the badge bots if you want to get a meaningful run in that is not sabotaged by the activity of the bots there. So we pick up double protection, no way to increase our placement here. But we're just gonna stay in contact with that spot. Drop the triple bananas there, we should get a hit. Yes, very good. So we get item destroyed. I should have fired the red and then dropped the combo as a result of that. So gotta clean it up a little bit here. But the frenzy luck kind of evaporated from us anyway, so we're not missing out on much here. Whoa, what just happened there? They went beyond the fence and had a respawn. That's pretty amazing. And I just got trailed, which actually was good because I got an extra green shell item hit there. Should be a pretty high score on this one, I imagine, especially with this useless green shell frenzy here. Maybe we can get a hit on the tail end here. Of course, the bots play possum and they disappear, and then they'll end up with the red shell, right? But looks like 38K, just about right for a, I was gonna say single coin frenzy, but that's right, we did get the green shell with no hits at the end there. But definitely with an optimal run here, I can move this beyond 43K with a triple frenzy run with an ideal setup. All right. And that should take us up quite a few places there. Look at that, already up into third place. And now Donut Plains 3D, we have the Birdo Me racing suit. Everybody says KG doesn't like the Miis. The Miis have been like carrying me since I haven't been pulling for anything, right? But look at that overlap with the soft swerve. Let's see what other drivers you may likely possess here. Well, the gold Charging Chuck is now in the daily spotlights, and then a lot of these new items, right? Dr. Peach is a fantastic option. Mario Sunshine is in the selection as well, but his course value is not that good overall. So let's go with the soft swerve, and then ooh, we do not have a glider here, but we can see that the 8-bit 1-up mushroom, and this is one, I could have extended that segment out longer, but this is one to keep an eye on because it is appearing in larger combination sizes, which you will see if you join the Discord server on the optimal list. And that's the general progression of how these things usually pan out. Not like the King Boo Luigi's Mansion, how it gets jammed with 4 new tracks and it's like, wow, already combination size 5. So from 0 to 5, in the combination size optimal list. Now this one is already starting its climb, and if it's one that you're looking to invest into, it does have favorable pairing with that of that 8-bit Fire Flower, so the least amount of hindrance and overlap overall with regards to that, and this one's going to play out very well. particularly because it's going to have a newer composition of courses overall, right? You have the RMX Donut Plains 1, the Battle Course, the Donut Plains 3T here, so, and those Bowser Castle 3. So these are all very new courses that, you know, some of these old powerhouse gliders are not going to be exposed to on the regular anymore. But in my situation here, I'm going to go with the Eastside friendly glider here. We have the Lightning Plus, right? Let's see what kind of a score we can get here. Probably not much of anything, I'd say. If I get first place, depending upon the frenzies, of course, but it's probably going to be around 12K here. Oh, that's interesting. And of course, with the pumpkins, you can get more actions and more hits than you would normally find in this track's availability at another point in the year. And that's kind of like the fun part about ranked mode at the given time. It's a little easier to keep combos, scoring is a little bit easier. You know, that may also be the case for your opponents though as well, so do keep that in mind. You can go over those little Monty or Rocky wrench holes there. Ooh, I like these. The ramps on these Donut Plains T courses are always a lot of fun. So see, even with, you know, a medium-sized hitbox, you can pick up 2 coins there. Just align your mini turbo appropriately and you can get it down there. You know, we do the same thing there, so very good. Another 2-coiner on that one. And also, if you throw a banana, I should have held on to it there, and hit that big pumpkin, you can get a trick-or-treat hit on those. We'll see if I can hit one. I'll try to hold on to this. Yeah, I won't do the full item spin. I'll see if I can pull it off here. Actually, I have 2. Okay, so what if I do forward spam? Oh no, we missed. It was a good attempt. Our heart was in the right place on that 12K though. Pretty accurate on that one, don't you think? All right, so that will take us up to, what is that now? 61K. So I guess we'll be just shy of first place in the situation. I'll go through and you know, wait it out. I'm not playing ranked mode very aggressively on my account. And that's up to your individual choice, how hard you want to go on it. Especially, and this is the benefit of now having the ranked rewards. Look at this, same, you know, 5 points cap tickets, slight difference in coins, right? It's 500 difference in coins, 5 different in rubies. And those 5 rubies are effectively just now 800 coins, just a coin rush ticket, right? Because there is no CPR conversion anymore for the value of pipes. That's long gone. And I mean, even when level 8 came around, CPR kind of became irrelevant anyway, because the rate at which players could max that out was really stratified to players who were legacy gold pass accounts or purchasing packs with items that could, you know, inject stimulus into the account and such. So there we go with that. Donut Plains 3, and we can see that it's the Peach Cup. So we have a super ranked buff that's very friendly. Other options are that Halloween Mario, who will be featured. Peach Halloween will be the campaign for week 2. And a couple of Mii racing suits, including the DK Mii racing suit, what do you know? Then we have a couple of these ranked carts. The value of these has been, you know, kind of on the uptick lately. Definitely, you know, the watermelon from the Ocean Tour has presented better value than some of them. But look, it's still not appearing in those optimal lists. You know, I call these stopgap coverage, right? It's not one that you want to invest a large amount of your resources into, but if it's going to present meaningful value for you for low amounts of investment from your tickets, then it's a consideration to make. But I wouldn't marry yourself to those investments because they're not going to pan out. Always think of cost of entry on these things, right? And then, hard to say what the hitbox difference is, but I'll go with the watermelon card. I'll give that the vote of confidence there. And then we have a super. Wow, that's very rare for gliders, very friendly. And that must be because if we back this out, take a look at this. 3 brand new courses here, because the Boo Lake RT obviously is brand new. And we have Cat Rosa picking up the buff there. And value for picking up gold Pd Piranha in week 1. probably will affect the ranked activity there, because that gives you top shelf in week 2 automatically. Whereas if you wait to week 2 to get it, you don't get access to this ranked appearance that it's having here. And then some Bob-omb Cannon drivers there. The Gold Standard picked up another track, so this is another one of those recent ranked high-end cards. Similar deal to the Watermelon card, stopgap kind of coverage there. And here we have the Magic Parasol, which has teetered on the edge of being an optimal glider, but hasn't been a fixture in those combinations. And there's really not much to note here. A couple of the mustache gliders and that Fire Manta glider, which was available over the summer there. So nothing to write home about, just a 1-1-1 thing here. So likely week 2 will be a week that I will be taking it easy. Ooh, Funky Kong in the middle shelf there. But we have the Dry Bowser Gold buff here, and he's met with the Mii racing suits, several of them, in addition to Cat Mario, Dr. Bowser. So we can really see the value of Peach Halloween in that week 2 campaign, along with Penguin Toad there. And for the middle shelf, it's the Red Off-Roader along with the Red Vampire Flyer, and then a bunch of other options that are seasonal flavor there. I'd be going with the middle shelf Trickster on this one and lacking a glider. So definitely, from my personal outlook, be going in on the week 1 and taking a siesta on the week 2. So if you find yourself in a similar position, think about how you can leverage your account in getting the kind of rewards that you want, and then only investing as much time and energy for that, and then just enjoying the rest, right? So now let's go over to today's challenge. We have the Dry Bones Mii racing suit. This one's for a turtle dude, so maybe there'll be some optimal thing that we can get from today's challenge pipe here. What's really funny about this actually is that the Dry Bones Mii racing suit here looks so big. And it's kind of funny because I'm so used to that being a lightweight driver. And here it is like all big because it's in the Mii suit. Now, granted, that's a middleweight. These are all middleweight, so you're not going to get the benefit of heavyweight status there. Not that it matters for triple green shells. If anything, for the triple green shell driver, you like having a smaller size because you can be in the recoil zone for that. Interesting pumpkin placement there. They really force you away from the jump boost. So sometimes there's a little bit of difficulty baked into picking up these pumpkins, but there's also ways to maneuver it so you get all of the usual actions along with the pumpkins, and that's really the kind of ideal situations you want to be going for. Whatever glider they have picked out here is very friendly combo time because we snipped the grass there and still managed to keep the combo going. And there we go. Ooh, look at those eyes too. Alrighty, let's see, what do we pick up here? It's a green pipe. Maybe we'll pick up the normal Dry Bones, that would be cute. Oh, 5 rubies. They must have heard me say on the last video that they don't know how to give me these rubies anymore. Well, I'd rather just have the guaranteed one instead of deal with RNG. I don't know. It's kind of inconsistent with their framing of the product when it's like, okay, we're removing the gacha, but it's like, here's all this extra RNG that we previously weren't forcing you to encounter with, right? Very curious on that, isn't it? Okie dokie. I just realized now I didn't check the daily selects before reset, so it will be a mystery what was down in the shop portion, but I'll check that out. I'll give you a double dose, in fact, of what the daily spotlight looks like from my account. And we have a pipe here. Oh wow, I forgot about these things too, right? Pipe frame, yeah. These have not been so swell. Anyway, yeah, here we go. Anything optimal here for any of you out there? But certainly, look, I don't want to advocate for this like FOMO belief that like you have to have the optimal coverage. Now, the truth be told of the matter is that as you see these lists develop over time, the real incentive is to not invest into any of them. And then you can get cherry pick the truly best across multiple eras and generations of Mario Kart Tour. And that's how you really power your account. And that's, you know, how I have chosen to go about, how many of the other members who have been using this tool for quite some time have chosen to go about that. We see the jukebox buggy there, and the prop cart along with the gold cheap charger there. So a lot of options there if you were a player for some of those items. Now let's take a look at what the actual daily selects looks like, right? Maybe I should have checked it before the shop reset, because that is a very brutal shop. That concludes this look at the Halloween tour, but I will have more detailed information for you on the horizon. Can't wait to share that with all of you, and I wish you the best in this tour. Take care, everybody.